You don't remember exactly when it happened. There wasn't one moment, one conversation, one day you could point to and say, that's when she left. It was slower than that. It was quieter than that. It was 1,000 small moments where you chose to make yourself smaller so he wouldn't get angry, where you swallowed an opinion because it wasn't worth the fight, where you changed your answer after watching his face fall, where you apologized for something that wasn't your fault just to make the tension stop. And somewhere in all of those moments, you got lost. Not lost like you took a wrong turn. Lost like you slowly became someone else entirely and didn't notice until one day you looked in the mirror and didn't recognize her. Who is this woman who second-guesses everything she thinks? Who is this woman who can't make a simple decision without anxiety? Who is this woman who shrinks when someone raises their voice? Who over-explains? Who over-apologizes? Who needs permission to take up space in her own life? That's not who you were, but that's who he made you. Here's what he understood about you that you didn't understand about yourself. He understood that if he could make you doubt your perception, he could control your reality. So he started there. You saw something. He told you you were wrong. You heard something. He told you you misunderstood. You felt something. He told you you were overreacting. Not once. Not twice. Every time. Until checking with him before trusting yourself became automatic. Until his version of events felt more reliable than your own memory. Until you genuinely believed that your mind couldn't be trusted. And once he had your perception, he came for your personality. The things that made you you. Your opinions became problems. Too strong. Too much. Why do you always have to make everything a debate? Your emotions became weapons used against you. You're so sensitive. You're exhausting. No one can say anything to you. Your needs became burdens. Why do you always need so much? Why can't you just be easy? Your friendships became threats. She's a bad influence. He doesn't have your best interests at heart. Why do you need them when you have me? One by one, the things that made up who you were, he picked them apart. Not all at once. Just consistently. Just enough. Until you were left with a version of yourself built entirely around him. Around his comfort. His preferences. His moods. His rules. You stopped knowing what music you actually liked because you always played what he wanted. You stopped knowing what you thought about things because your thoughts were always wrong. You stopped knowing what you needed because your needs were always too much. You lost the thread of yourself. And now he's gone. And people expect you to just go back to who you were. But you don't know who that is anymore. And that might be the loneliest part of all of this. Not missing him. Missing yourself. Grieving a version of you that you can barely remember. Wondering if she still exists. If she survived what he put her through. If there's enough of her left to come back to. There is. She is not gone. She is not lost forever. She is buried. Hidden. Quieted. But she is there. And she has been trying to reach you. In every moment of this that felt wrong. In every time you went along with something and felt sick afterward. In every flash of anger that you immediately suppressed. In every dream you had that had nothing to do with him. In every song that made you feel something before you remembered you weren't supposed to feel things. That was her. Still there. Still reaching. Still refusing to completely disappear. Finding yourself again doesn't start with knowing who you are. It starts with getting curious about who you might be. It starts with small experiments. You're alone for an evening. What do you actually want to do? Not what you think you should want. Not what sounds most productive. What do you actually want? Maybe you don't know. That's okay. Try something. Notice if it feels right. You're in a conversation and someone asks your opinion. What do you actually think? Not what will be best received. Not what's safest. What do you actually think? Say it. Out loud. And then just let it exist. You feel something, irritation, sadness, excitement, joy. Before you question whether you're allowed to feel it, just feel it. Let it move through you. You don't need to justify it. You don't need to explain it. You don't need to make sure it's appropriate. It's yours. This is how she comes back. Not all at once. Not in a rush of sudden clarity where everything makes sense again. In small moments of choosing yourself. In small moments of trusting yourself. In small moments of letting yourself exist without editing. One day you'll have an opinion and you'll state it without your heart racing. One day you'll feel something and you won't immediately ask yourself if it's valid. One day someone will ask what you want and the answer will come quickly, easily, without fear. And you'll realize she's back. Not the same as before. She couldn't be. She went through something that changed her, but in some ways more herself than she's ever been. Because she knows now what it costs to lose herself. She knows now what it feels like to live without her own voice. She will never give that away again. Not to anyone. Not for anything. You lost yourself in this. That is real. That is a real loss. And it deserves to be grieved. But you are not gone. You are finding your way back. Every day that you choose your own thought over his voice in your head, you find her. Every day that you honor what you feel without apologizing for it, you find her. Every day that you let yourself take up space, have an opinion, make a choice, exist fully, you find her. She is coming back. She has always been coming back. And when she fully arrives, when you look in the mirror and recognize her again, you will understand that she was never really gone. She was just waiting for you to be safe enough to come home. Subscribe to You Will Stand Again. Because you will.